It is Sunday night, February the 16th, 2 days after Valentine's Day, 5 days after the full snow moon. Very, very heavy energies, very, very exciting energies, very intense, very intense. And I was certainly like full of a lot of optimism leading up to those rituals and like very, very empowered from them. Very, very empowered from performing them. Um, it was like really and truly like some amazing, amazing experiences. And I'm going to get into that more when people show up. I know that I had already done a few premieres today, so the notifications probably will not be going out for this stream. So whoever does show up, that they definitely meant to be here to hear this tonight, like in this moment. Hey, Kat, what's up, Kat? Good to see you, sister. Hell yeah. Hail Belial too, right? Ha, I know you've been doing it. I am too. My brother, Altar of Darkness. What's up, Hurst? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here, dude. We're going to keep this one strictly to an hour tonight. One of our dear soul family members, Nina the Mystic Truther, she does have a Sunday live stream every Sunday, and I believe it's at 9 p.m. So, I've been doing very, I want to certainly be respectful to my friends and not overlap them if possible. And she has a consistent Sunday night time slot. And there's been a few times where I've like forgotten about that and like scheduled a live stream at the same time or scheduled a video at the same time. And that's not really cool. And I never meant to do it. It was never a purpose. It wasn't on purpose, but it just would happen sometimes. So now I'm like keeping it in the back of my mind and making sure that I don't do that. So after this stream, certainly head over to her channel. I'll certainly be hanging out there a little bit myself too. And it's really great to see you all too. What's up, Jasonius? Hey, how's it going? I'm doing okay. I'm going through a little bit of I guess you would call it ritual hangover, but also I'm feeling that Chiron and Aries energy right now very heavily, and that's kind of what we have here in our astrologically. That's what's in our energy right now, and that's really about the wounded child within you. And the need to heal that wounded inner child. And it's really caused me to do a lot of reflecting today. I got like really sick last night and just like, ugh. I was like throwing up this morning and stuff, purging out a lot of really funky energy. And it was really strange. I went back to videos that I was making like 2 years ago when Lilith was first coming in very strongly. We were having all of those earthquakes and things like over, I guess, in like Turkey and stuff. And I actually started like predicting when these were going to happen. I did a very powerful full moon ritual to Lilith, and it was almost 2 years ago to this date. It was either in January or February of 2023. The following day was the first earthquake, and after that, I began to like channel information, and I predicted the actual exact dates of the subsequent ones. Not all the next three, but I knew there was going to be 4 total, and there was. But I actually predicted the dates like weeks ahead of time, and it was really crazy. And the odd thing about it was that those earthquakes were actually bringing energetic relief to us. When things like that happen with the earth, exactly. Alter Darkness saying purging, exactly. When the earth purges in that way, so do we. And it is a very powerful release when the earth shakes and the earth opens up, so do we. And we let things go. And so I'm not surprised with the current energy that we have here that, I'd be going through some things like that. And you may be experiencing some of that as well. Maybe some loneliness, maybe some reflection, deep reflection on things from your past. I found myself going back to some of those videos that I made like 2 years ago and a year ago. And they are always around this time too, like where Lilith was coming in heavily, like January through March, especially in February. These were videos that I literally made like 2 years ago to the date of like the last few 2 or 3 weeks. And I was looking at them and I was just like, holy crap, like this is just so wild. This is so weird. Um, I've got some of them that I'm going to be reposting here to update them and get them back at the top. I've got one that's coming out tomorrow, 11 a.m. And I'm going to have a few more. I need to edit them a little bit, take some things out that aren't relevant now, as far as like what's going on in my life in the moment and that kind of thing. Like right now, and Lilith has been talking about this for the last 2 years, since 2023 when she was coming in heavily, that she really wants you to dig deep and dig into that shadow and release things that no longer serve you so that you can finally heal. And most of this stuff does go back to our childhood, things that we've been carrying around forever, things that shackle us, things that plague us today because of things that happened so long ago. And it can be very painful and like just like utterly devastating sometimes to have to go back and revisit some of those past lifetimes from when you were a kid, from when you were a teenager, especially from times where you felt just like absolutely alone in life, but yet you were having to move forward and you still had that sense of excitement and that sense of wonder. And you knew that like life was going to be awesome and amazing, but yet like there was a heaviness, there was a loneliness, there was like a sense of abandonment, not just physically, but like spiritually too. Because, like, for most of us, we hadn't found that yet. And then there was that sense of emptiness within us, and we really couldn't identify what that was. And we might have like blamed it on a lot of other things, but it really was like something that we were missing, something that we didn't have yet. And remember that this left hand path is a gift, it is a precious gift for the chosen, and it's not for everyone. And why is it not for everyone? They're denied access to it. They will never see its true beauty. Some will still come around and see it, but a lot of them just never will. And one thing that I want to remind everybody about is that, like, just remember that soul contracts are a real thing. That some of your biggest adversaries in life are actually some of your best friends on the spiritual realm. That you chose them for that. You chose for them to hurt you. You chose for them to betray you. You chose for them to do some of the hardest things to you in this life because they're that important on the spiritual realm to you. You wouldn't have anybody else do it. You wouldn't have it any other way. If it was just some old POS that betrayed you and hurt you, it really wouldn't be as profound. Like, it's because you have that like deep connection in the spiritual realm. So like that's really something to kind of take into perspective and keep in mind that like when somebody does hurt you like that, you chose it. You chose it. It was not happening to you. It is happening for you because you know that you needed to learn a powerful lesson. And only someone that like you love and care about so much is capable of doing that to you to that degree. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like we're gonna do some cleansing. We're gonna do some things real quick for everybody. We still have this candle going, and it's like just about to go out. It's like it's nothing left. This is for Lilith that we had maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and then I do have another one from the ritual the other night that we're gonna light tonight, and we still have Behemoth X's healing candle going here, and we're gonna talk about that too. We have something that's very special coming up on Friday, February the 28th. I really do hope that you will all participate in whatever way that you see fit. Light some candles, dress a candle, do an evocation, do some energy work, like whatever it is that you need to do or that you would like to do to extend that healing, loving energy to our brother Behemoth X, as he's been going through a very difficult time with some loss in his own family. And I can feel that too. I mean, this is, to be experiencing that right now on top of some of these heavy energies in the world is a very tough thing. But like Lilith, these spirits, they will bring music to you into your life to help you to reflect on what is going on currently, to send you messages in a way. Like a lot of you think that you're not a good channel, or that you're not a good channeler, or that you're not open, or that you're not intuitive. Like, just really open your eyes to some of the subtle cues, some of the subtle clues, some of the subtle breadcrumbs that they leave. Many of these spirits leave you those breadcrumbs of those profound messages through music. And this happened to me today. And I bet you all know this song. This is a song that goes back to when I was about 13 years old. Some of the most difficult, darkest times in my life. And, you know, it's more relevant now today than it ever was. It's more relevant now than it was even back then. You know, so as we do this cleansing, as I like this Palo Santo, as we cleanse ourselves with this Florida water, if you have some on your end, you know, certainly feel free to. But I open this portal, I open this Daizan, so that I can send that energy to all of you right now. Even if you aren't going to do that, you can still receive it. I love you all so much. We're going to listen to this for a second, and then we're going to get into it. But this will give us something to reflect on. You know, as I'm going through this here. We're going to be using some crystals as well. We're going to actually be using the energy of this flower. This thing opened up all the way on the full snow moon. In the ritual of the full snow moon, you could actually see it opening as I called it forth. And after the ritual the other night, this thing is opened up to where it's about ready just to bust. It is like so letting us know it is here in every way. It is crazy. I don't think it's ever going to close up again. I think this thing is like saying what's up to the world. All right. Let's go ahead and get this healing on. No, nothing happened, Friar Pestle. No, it's just the energy. It's just the energy of, I think after this ritual and like a calling for Lilith to really wanting me and everyone else to go within and to reconcile certain things within yourself, really peel back those layers. You know, there's a video that I'm going to be having coming out that's about Friar Pestle and his amazing magical therapy modality that he has really, like, it is something that he was blessed with by the spirits, based on his years and years of experience, based on his years and years of pain. And that pain has brought him a huge blessing. His magical practice in combination with that. I had a very powerful experience with Friar Pestle the other night. It's called deep listening. And it was such a profound experience, I can't even tell you. And I think that that is actually part of what I'm going through now, because it's helping me to purge. It's helping me to release. It was so perfect, the timing of it, with these rituals, with these energies, with this full moon, with Lilith. That session with you, Friar Pestle, was like just absolutely amazing. He has a way through his magic. We did it through a Zoom call to like really allow me to relax to such a degree that I was able to come face to face with certain aspects of myself and have those certain aspects of myself speak to me and tell me what it is they want, but more importantly, what it is they need. Things that I really didn't even have any idea of. Things that I was not able to access on my own. And through this modality that he has created, in combination with the magic that he brings to the table, it was truly like the most amazing experience. And like, I thank you, brother, for that, dude. And I cannot wait to do that again with you. And I highly recommend that anyone that is in need of stepping into really peeling back those layers and delving deep inside of yourself, discovering what those things are that you really want and need to happen, that right there is, oh man, I knew it was going to be awesome. I knew it was going to be. I knew that, but I didn't know how amazing and how profound that experience was actually going to be. And I will definitely put the link to Friar Pestle's website and his email in the description of this video after the live stream, so that any of you that want to connect with him in that way, to really experience some profound healing, man, I tell you, I cannot recommend it enough. But we're going to get into this cleansing. This is a song that Lilith brought to me today. And I know that a lot of you know it. I'm sure that you do. If you're as old as I am, at least you do. It is amazing. It is moving. It is relevant. And yeah, we'll spend some time with that for a minute and then we're going to continue, okay? Get this Palo Santo going. And a little smoke too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh my god. Your favorite transgender YouTuber. You're so crazy. The one and only Nicole, you're crazy. You're welcome here though. It's not true, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I actually had a partner years ago that was trying to make me that way. It was a freaking crazy experience, but you know, I love you too, Jeremiah. This is a healing candle. This is an empowerment candle from the altar, from the Lilith's Heart's Desire ritual. We're going to keep this burning until it's gone. This is for every single one of you here. You know, myself, all of our soul family, Lilith especially, like, wants all of that. No, and it wouldn't be Roses of Rot. If we were, would it be so bad? No, not at all. Not at all. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And I didn't mean to come across that way. The only crazy is you. Well, I just said they were crazy for saying that. That's all. I thought it was funny, is what I meant. When I say crazy, I mean funny. And sometimes I do choose the wrong words. And that's something that I have been working on a lot too. That's something that that Satan has been helping me with there, is to speak properly and to not mince my words or come across in the wrong way. You know, because people don't know me, right? And when I say like, oh man, you're crazy, I'm not saying they're crazy. All right, Fazoozi, can we please get this son of a bitch out of here? You're not gonna fucking come in here and say that I look really crazy and dumb. Fuck you, motherfucker, okay? Yeah, how about that? And like, I don't like that you brought that energy to here and like did that. You're not welcome here anymore, man. Yeah, Satan does help me. But anyway, sorry for that, y'all. Sorry for that. Yeah, bye, Felicia. Thank you, exactly. But anyways, that is what Lilith wants for you right now, is to experience that true level of healing, and through that, a true sense of empowerment in yourself. Yeah, thank you, Friar Pestle. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for doing all of that. And hey to everybody. You know, and like, that's the thing, man. Like, I used to, and we all, I think, like, we've had moments where we just fall into that trap of being like habitual speakers of like weird language, you know, and it's like, it's a weird dichotomy, you know. It's kind of like, I was talking about it before, you know, some of the things, I won't let the miserable people affect me. I'm sorry, it just got to me tonight. I've been feeling a certain kind of way today, you know, and so they were able to kind of just like, you know, I think my emotional guard is not as strong today as it usually is, and usually I'll let that fall off my chest and I'll just laugh about it. But at the same time, I'm sick of being disrespected, especially like in our house here. It's not okay. It never was, and it never will be. I will put up with a certain level of disrespect if it is kind of somewhat lighthearted, but I'm not going to stand for anybody coming in here and disrespecting any of you, and I'm certainly not going to stand for them disrespecting me. I'm certainly not going to stand for them disrespecting the spirits that we work with. It's not going to happen. And should I have reacted that way? No, I shouldn't have. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that, you know, like, can I blame that on them either? No, it is my fault. It is my fault, because it's my choice on it, like how I choose to react. And that's like another thing that Satan has been helping me with too, you know, like to really kind of step back and stop and think about what I'm going to say before I say it. Think about like, what is the impact that it's going to have? Is it conveying the message that I would like for it to like convey? And in so many ways, a lot of the ways that I talked was not, or that I spoke on a regular basis was not. And I'll give you an example. You know, like, one of the things that I would typically say to my female partners would be like, oh shit, I love you, bitch. And it was very, I meant it, endearing as you could be. But at the same time, I'm using the word love and the word bitch in the same sentence. And even though they knew what I was saying, right? There's an energy that comes with like the words that roll off of your tongue. Doesn't really matter how you mean to say it. Just kind of like when I told that person earlier that said that I was like their favorite transgender YouTuber on YouTube or whatever. And I was just like, man, you're crazy, right? And they probably took that as me being like, you are a crazy fool or something, right? Or that you're insane. I didn't mean that. I meant like, you're funny, you're crazy, you're funny, right? I should have said you're funny, you know? Because it can be taken all different kinds of ways. And like, you know, there's a vibrational resonance with your words. Like language has a very powerful energy attached to it. And you know, this is something from the Bible that I do believe to be very true. There's a lot of golden nuggets of truth in there, that you are snared by the words of your tongue. You know, you are, absolutely. It can become a very powerful tool, or it can be a trap. And you really have to like be careful on how you talk, how you speak, especially to the people that you love and care about, because like when you talk like that, it definitely creates and cultivates like an environment of confusion, which leads to more and more like weird things happening, whether you know it or not. And I think that like a lot of it starts with like how you speak to one another. And like, you really need to always do it with respect. Even when you're upset, you have to like remain respectful and not speak to them in a way that would degrade them, not to speak to them in a way that is like going to like attack their character or who they are, whether you mean to or not. You have to really like choose your words wisely. And like, you know, I'm still working on that. Very, very much so. But it's not easy, because I have cultivated a culture throughout my life and lived in a culture throughout my life where that's the freaking norm. You know, like there's slang words that they're for things that mean are awesome. You know, we say, that's the shit, man. What are we saying when we say that's the shit? Like, people know it means like that's cool, right? But we're really saying that's shitty. You know, that's confusing in the mind. That's confusing in the subconscious. Your subconscious is very powerful, but also it's going to grab onto it. And whether you know it or not, it has an effect. So like, I'm really trying to freaking, you know, yeah, oh, and yeah, Odo, yeah. He said we have to go back to the old days where we just drew pictures for communication. Wow. Because then, yeah, there really wouldn't be any confusion there then, would it? Really wouldn't be. You would know for sure what they meant and what they were trying to communicate. Yeah. I don't know how that happened. Like, how did we get to that point to where like we started speaking in such a ways? Like, where did this slang come from that we glorify and like so much? I don't know. I really don't know. And people think it's so innocent, don't they? But it's not. It's not. So right now, we've got some pretty crazy energy in here right now. You know, astrologically. You know, Chiron, the wounded warrior, Chiron, the wounded child, that wounded inner child, that energy is like very heavy right now. And there's a lot of us that are probably feeling that. There's a lot of us that are kind of going through a sense of loneliness, a sense of loss, a sense of brokenness, a sense of like disconnection. And maybe you didn't even feel that a week ago. Maybe you didn't even feel that on Wednesday or Friday, but it might be coming into your life right now. And yes, it can be confusing. It can be very confusing. And I think that it's very important when these kinds of things happen to like really put things into perspective and to go deep within and find the root of that. Like, where is it actually coming from? What is it stemming from? And like, allow yourself to feel that. Allow yourself to lean into it. And in doing so, it's very important during those times to really take good care of yourself, to really practice those deep levels of self-care, salt baths, good food, soul warming, soul nourishing food, comfort, security, safety. Do your best to be in an environment like that, a peaceful environment, a quiet environment, like a place of true rest and relaxation and recovery, especially when you're coming off of some very heavy energies like we just experienced, and you're on that huge high. A lot of people are able to maintain that and keep pushing through and ride that wave and stay on the top of it, but a lot of us are going to go down to that bottom and experience that absolute opposite energy that we were just relishing in that moment. And that can be confusing, but that is a calling for you to do and what is necessary to come to terms and to reconcile those energies to the best of your ability, so that you can move forward to go up even higher than you were last week, so that you're not going to have to go down as low again. Every time that you are willing to go deep within, come to those realizations, peel those layers back and illuminate that shadow, it's going to do nothing but help you. The demons will do nothing but bless you for that, because that's really what they're here to do ultimately, is to help us see the things that we are not able to see within ourselves. They are masters of it, and there's many ways that people go about doing this. My old method of doing this would have been to blow my mind out with psychedelics, and while that did help, psilocybin mushrooms and ayahuasca, all of that was very beneficial, but it was actually pretty damn traumatizing too. So I was thinking that in many cases I was releasing old trauma but introducing new trauma at the same time, that I'm then going to have to go back down to later and release again down the road. But I think if you do it in this more natural way of just deep levels of self, introspection, and having the demonic divine that you work with to assist you with that and exposing those things and revealing the truth of yourself to you, that is a far better way of doing it. And I have a video coming out tomorrow. This is a video that I made 2 years ago, right around this time when Lilith was coming in very hot and heavy. And it's talking about unchaining your demons. And what does that mean really? What she was telling me then is when there's certain things that have a stranglehold on your life, and whatever it is, it doesn't always have to be addictions. It usually is going to be an addiction to something in many cases, or it could just be a trauma that results in you living your life in a certain way that doesn't resonate with you. However, you continue to do that thing because you think some kind of way it's bringing you some kind of comfort. That when you continue to live your life in a certain way that does not serve you, you are literally keeping yourself shackled, and you are literally keeping the demon's power and presence in your life shackled as well. And so you're limiting your power and ability, and you are also limiting their power and their ability in your life. They can't serve you properly when you aren't serving yourself. They will refuse to serve you properly when you're not serving yourself. And the main gist of the message was, and I don't want to ruin the whole video for tomorrow, you can still watch it, but the main gist of it is this: once you unshackle and unburden yourself, you literally unshackle and unburden the demons that are closest to you as well, so that then both of you can come together and move forward with certainty and power, and this newfound sense of glory and power. And it is freaking true. For me, one of the biggest things, there was many things, but one of the biggest things was my addictions. like drugs and drinking. And I was greatly restricting the power of that demonic divine in my life, because I was also restricting my own personal power due to the fact that I was not willing to make those tough choices and change. And like, that is what will give you the biggest benefit. That is what will give you the ultimate blessings. That will help you to step into your own power magically and in the mundane world when you are willing to make those tough choices. They will applaud you. They will glorify you. They will exalt you to the highest degree, and everything will begin to make sense, and you will see what was holding you back. You'll see what was holding you back. And so another really hard one is like people in your life. People in your life that, you know, just no matter how much you love them, no matter what you've been through, no matter what, if you're just not vibing, if you're just not compatible, if they're toxic for you and you're toxic for them, whatever the case may be, usually it's both, right? You gotta let it go. There's just no other way. You know, the only way out through that is through and to detach, right? You know, and like not allowing yourself to become too attached to certain aspects of any type of relationship. Like always maintaining your own sense of self and independence and like love for self, and not putting any of that responsibility on anyone else, and not allowing them to put responsibility for their lives onto you. Like all of that really is just as poisonous as being an alcoholic, just as poisonous as being a drug addict. It is just as dangerous, and it's just as hurtful and damaging. And so like, really, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but letting go of a person that you really care about is as difficult as getting off of a hard drug, because it does become an addiction, and it does restrict you in so many ways. You make those tough choices. You make those really tough choices that just grind you up emotionally, that just really like put you in the bottom of the pit because it hurts so bad to go through it and do it. It hurts so bad to let it go. Even though it's not good for you, it hurts like hell. The same thing with like the drugs. Even though it hurts so bad, it hurts like hell to let it go. To let something that's like hurting you go is like that. How crazy is that it would hurt so bad to let something that's damaging you go? But that's the world that we live in, right? It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be painful, because that is our biggest teacher, isn't it? That pain is our biggest teacher. And as much as that fucking sucks, that is something that we have to come to terms with, and we have to expect. Because again, all of that pain, all of that pressure, all of that is what we chose for ourselves in this incarnation, because we knew then before we came here, much better than we realize it now that we're here, what we needed to go through, what we needed to experience, all of the different trials and tribulations of life. We chose it. We did. And we actually chose who was going to do it to us and when. At certain points in our life, the planets align, don't they? And it's like, by design. It is by design. So, when those kinds of things come along in your life, don't be surprised. Don't allow it to destroy you. Try not to be too mad and bitter about it. Just accept it for what it is, and know that it is ultimately a blessing. It's ultimately a blessing. Don't hold on to the bitterness. Don't hold on to the resentment. And I'm not saying that you gotta forgive or forget, but don't hold on to that energy. Holding on to that energy is no different than staying in the addiction or staying in the relationship. It's all going to hurt you just as much. Letting go is the hardest thing in this world. In my experience, letting go of something, no matter what it is, it freaking hurts. And that goes for losing someone you love if they pass away, losing someone that you love through a betrayal, losing someone that you know from an addiction, having some of those types of things yourself, the people that love and care about you watching you go through this. It hurts them too, right? When you're doing stupid things and making bad choices in your life, you're not just hurting yourself, you are hurting everyone that you love and care about just as equally. And that is something to remember too, that it's not all about you. In many ways it is, but there are things about yourself, decisions that you make, things that you do, and things that you fail to do that do greatly affect the people that you love and care about. And if you do love and care about them, that's something that you must consider. And again, it's not easy, you know, and like that will actually cause you to, in some cases, like want to do it for them, right? And some people will be like, yeah, I'm doing it for them. No, you're not. You're not. You're always doing it for you. And you always have to know and be in that energy of I'm doing this for me, right? I'm doing this for me, but ultimately, if I do this for me, yes, what is the byproduct of that going to be? It's going to bless them. It's going to help them to like have a purging and a release of the crap that I was injecting into their lives just because of the way that I was operating. But don't ever do it for someone else. If you're trying to do whatever it is for the sake of someone else, you will most surely fail. You have got to want to do it for you. You got to want to do it for you. And that's something that like one of my closest, dearest friends, best friends in the world has helped me with. And through that, Satan has been helping me with that too. Like there's such wisdom there. And such beauty there from something that I thought was so dark and evil, right? Something so dark and evil is such a precious gift. And again, why is that? It's because this world is ass backwards, and this path is being protected. The sacredness of it, how precious it is being protected from the ignorant people in this world that would never get it and never understand it. You've got to truly walk this path for a certain amount of time to see the true precious beauty, the gift that it is. And it's like, oh God, when you come to that realization and that hits you, it is like the craziest thing. It is profound, right? Yes, and you all know what I'm talking about, man. I know you do. It's freaking like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea, right? And I've been doing this for a long time, right? And I still didn't know. I still didn't understand. It does hit you hard, brother. Absolutely, it does. Hell yeah. Wow, Jeremiah said, I've walked this path with you, JD, for 4 years now. Dude, that is so cool. And that is like so hard for me to even like wrap my head around. Like life is so weird. Life is so crazy. Like, you know, when you're younger, you do kind of look at your life in a certain way and you have a plan for it, right? Or at least you should. And you kind of like see the person you're going to become. You can see all of the different things, right? Like I never saw this coming, not in a million years. And it was because of Lilith coming into my life that I'm sitting right here today. By and large, the most influential is her. And I know like she's telling me like I've got to write about this. I've got to write a grimoire about her, and I am ready to do that. I am so freaking ready to do that. You know, because like I want to honor her in every way. And like, why is that? Why is that? Because, man, she's really brought me a lot of pain. You know, she hasn't brought me a lot of pain, my life has, but she's like allowed me to experience that pain and that darkness just so that I could overcome it. Just so that I could overcome it. There's a lot of people that will get lost in that maelstrom though. And again, that's not her fault. It's those people's fault for their unwillingness to change. You've got to be willing to make the tough choices. Again, I'm going to say it a lot because that is something that really needs to hit home with all of you. Like whatever, like if you are being limited, if you're being challenged, if you're being held back in life, in the mundane world and magically, typically there is a reason for it. When you see a lot of other practitioners, you see a lot of other people elevating themselves to higher and higher degrees of glory, so to speak, and you're wondering why you're stuck. Some of it might be just because maybe you're newer, and that's fine. But if you've been doing it for a while, like I've been, you know, and I was still kind of like, what is going on here? I don't get it. It was the way I was living my life, you know. It was because I was like unwilling to make tough choices and to make those tough changes. I was like insistent on living my life in the same way and thinking that I was going to get a different result, thinking that these demons were going to bless me and waiting for it to happen. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? And they kind of like, they won't always like just tell you, right? It's kind of like they may speak in a riddle, or they may just be going, you know, and they're just kind of like, the clock's ticking, brother, you know, like, I don't know, like, I kind of think you should know the answer to that. Like, take a look in the mirror, take a look around, take a look at that person, take a look at that bag right there, take a look at the, you know, take a look at like what you're popping, take a look at what you're snorting, take a look at what you're drinking maybe. Take a look at like how you're operating. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe, you know. And you know, those kind of things that are like so powerful, that's the thing that's like, hell no, that helps me get through this life. Are you crazy? Like there's no way I can give that up for any reason at all. I'd rather stay right here where I'm comfortable in my comfortable mediocrity. So, and with all my little comforts, than I would to be able to let those things go, be totally exposed, and without those little like comfort blankets and stuff and little things, little creature comforts. Like you really do have to be willing to like let go of it all, step onto the edge of that cliff and leap off of that motherfucker knowing that there is no net that's going to catch you at the bottom. But like, as you released everything and you stepped off, then you realize that like you're not plummeting down to the earth, but all of a sudden you're flying, Jack. You're taking flight and you're going even higher, way higher than that cliff edge ever was, soaring up to new horizons, to new levels and degrees of power and glory. And when you do that, you become like such a shining example for everyone else to like want to also like have for themselves in their own life. Because no, and it's true, if I can do it, you can do it. If you can do it, I can do it. For the good and the bad. I can destroy myself if you want to. Hey, I'll show you how. But if I want to ascend and if I want to like improve upon myself and glorify myself, if I can do it, you can do it too. And like, it is very true. Like we really, all of us have our own unique challenges, but I do think at the end of the day, we are all just as capable. We are. And like the main thing is that you have that willingness, that you have that desire, that you have that will inside of you. And like, where do you can get that? You know, you can get that through your magic. You can get that through communion with these infernal divine. They will help you and assist you to make it not so bad, to make it not so hard, to make this like a more palatable and digestible experience. Like you don't have to like go through it like bare bones, cold turkey, so to speak. They'll numb it down for you a little bit. They really will. They'll make it to where it's not quite as tough, but you'll still learn the lesson. You'll still receive the blessings. There are situations where you're going to have to experience and feel the fullness of its impact to really like get the point and learn the lesson. Yes, they're not always going to like give you a soft landing. They're not always going to sugarcoat it a little bit for you or like add a little bit of spice to it to make it a little bit better. There's going to be certain things that you're going to have to experience to the fullness and degree of it. But again, as we said before, that pain is your most powerful teacher. That letting go and that releasing is the most powerful medicine. And like, what else is that medicine? Like you being there for the people that you love, holding space for them, lending them a listening ear, doing something nice and sweet for them, showing them like how a loving, proper person treats other people in this world. And we're not all perfect, and I don't always treat everybody perfect. I don't. So I'm not, this is not coming from a place of me saying that like I'm a perfect person and I treat everybody with the utmost respect and I never mess up. That's not true. That's not true. But the best medicine in this world is the medicine that is you. It's the medicine that is you as a healer, just showing up for them and being present, being there, holding space. You don't even need to say anything sometimes. You don't. Your presence and your energy is that good medicine. It is. Don't forget that. Kind of in the same way that your utter lack of disrespect and your utter lack of being present and your utter lack of being there for someone can be a poison. And you know, like, I am really sick and tired of ever bringing poison to anyone's table, to ever bringing any poison to the well. I just really want to cultivate a life and a way and a beingness of moving in this life to where I'm only bringing that medicine. I'm only bringing that good. I don't want anything else anymore. I'm sick of it. I can't do it. Am I gonna fall short? Yes. But the more I like really take a step back and look at it, the more I work on myself, the more that I like insist on operating in certain ways, then I know that I will get closer and closer to always bringing that medicine instead of delivering that poison. There's been so many times in my life where I have been poisonous, like more poison than wolf's bane, more poisonous than nightshade, more poisonous than, you know, like a rattlesnake. And it's usually to like some of the people that are closest to you, you know? But again, like, even those kinds of things, like, sometimes that's needed too for them. And I hate to be the one that brings that, but sometimes that's destined to. They have a lesson to learn from your poison, and you have a lesson to learn from being the deliverer of that poison. And the main goal in life would be that you both learn from that experience and that you don't repeat it, and that you both can then turn that poison into true medicine. Yeah. Hey, Star Ruby. Hey, everybody. Hey, F Kitty. I haven't seen you in a while, F Kitty. Good to see you. Hell yeah. Hey, everybody. So one of my sweetest friends in the world, on Valentine's Day, I got another gift I wanted to show you guys. Hey, Salem. I got this, and this is awesome. I'm going to put that on my altar. Isn't that cool? I guess it might be backwards. Is it backwards for y'all? Or is it forwards? I don't know. I think when I put something like this on the camera, it's probably backwards. But it says, "Hail to thyself, for I am my own master. I am my own God. I need no shepherd, for I am not a sheep." Okay, so what it says once again is, Hail to thyself, for I am my own master. I am my own God. I need no shepherd, for I am not a sheep. Jasonia said, I can read backwards. Hell yeah. And it's really cool. There was a person in here earlier that was calling me a Viking, and I get that a lot. And I know that, like, I really do need to work with those Norse gods and, like, do some path workings, because I've been hearing it forever. And that, you know, when you get those little subtle cues and breadcrumbs, like, you kind of have to listen to it at some point, because that does mean something. It does. But they got me some of this Viking hair product, because my hair is, like, very frizzy and crazy sometimes. But I can, like, keep those curls without having it frizzy, and so it adds volume and texture, gives a light hold and low shine for a clean, natural look, and enhances my natural curves and my waves. And it has sea salt in it with kelp, aloe vera, and red algae extract. And it's called Vikings Revolution. Look at that. Bam. So I was going to use it, but I didn't have time to. We're coming up on an hour, y'all. Here in a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and roll out. I would love for you to join me and join our soul family. A lot of us will be over there at Nina the Mystic Truther's channel. She's got a Sunday live. I'm not sure what she's getting into tonight. I can't remember. What's up, Angel? Hey. What's up, Jay the Sage? Hell yeah. And Altar of Darkness and Jasonius. Love you guys so much. And everybody else here. If there's somebody in the chat that I did miss, I'm so sorry. I knew that we were on kind of like a tight one here tonight, trying to keep it to 60 minutes. Hey, Samantha. Hey. I wanted to keep it. What's up, brother? What's up? Good to see you too. Hey, Jason. Hey, Roses and Rot. It's Nina the Mystic Truther. Yeah, I've known Nina for like 9 years. It's crazy. Like I've like known Nina as long as I've known like EA and JS and all of them. Like, her and I had a connection through Incubi and Succubi. She had a lot of experiences with that. And I've known Friar Pestle and Bosses Long too. You know, Friar Pestle and I go way, way back. You know, I was talking to him as I was dying in the hospital from that cat bite. And thank you for that, Bo. Like, it was awesome for you to be there. Yeah, dude. And Pendarabo, my friend. Hell yeah. It's good to see you too. And I know who you are. And I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, she's still on YouTube. So it used to just be Nina the Mystic, but they messed her channel all up, and like she got some weird copyright things and stuff. So she had to start over again, which is really unfortunate. So now it's called Nina the Mystic Truther. I'm glad that we met too, our Altar of Darkness. You know, there's no coincidences, is it? Not at all, man. Not at all. Not at all. I know that we'll be doing some powerful magic together, without a doubt, and probably in person at some point, since we're both in the same state. You know, and I love it up there where you are in the mountains. Beautiful area. It's cool where I'm at too. I'm kind of in the middle of both. You know, I'm 100 miles from the ocean. I'm 100 miles from DC, and I'm about 100 miles from the mountains. So I'm kind of like in that central Virginia location to where I can kind of go in any direction and find something cool. It just so happens to be that like where I'm at is not the coolest. It's all right. It's cool. I've just been here for like 44 years, you know? And while I do like it, I am ready for a change, to be honest with you. It's just, you know, sometimes you even have to change your environment because you feel stagnated. And there's something that Belial had shared with me. Well, really, it was weird. I got the message from King Paimon first, and then Belial reinforced it recently. And this has to do with putting toxins into your body. Okay? Putting toxins into your body and then not flushing them out. He talked about, like, basically that your body, the inside of your body, and you have to look at it much like this earth. When you let those toxins build up, that flowing stream becomes a stagnated swamp, a swamp of toxicity. And you just think about a swamp. There's no movement, there's no flow to it. it's just sitting there still, and it stinks, and it's dark, and it's gross, and the energy is just like, blah, wants to consume you and eat you up, right? You got to remove those toxicities, man, by like cleansing yourself, getting things flowing. Water is so important, because if you're cultivating a swamp within yourself, do this. Then you're going to turn that swamp into a stream once again. That stream is going to flow into the river, where it becomes more powerful, more ferocious, more energetic, right? More flow, more movement, spanning out in many different directions. And where does that lead to? Into the ocean, into like that vastest unknown of real power, right? Yeah. So like, do not allow your vessel to become a swamp. That's going to like hold you back in every way. You got to keep that flowing. And the only way to keep that flowing is to be continuously keeping yourself flushed, continuing to put that water in there. Hell yeah, Roses and Rot said, trash in, trash out. Yes, yes. Oh wow, that's the name that Crowley used to introduce himself by. Really? Okay, I never heard that. I mean, I'm familiar with Crowley, but I haven't really read much of his work because it's really confusing, and that's just not my thing. I'm just not smart enough to understand it. No, not really, but I don't know. I guess I just haven't been as interested as I have been in like other things. Not to say that I won't down the road. Maybe I will, but you know, we'll see. But anyway, we're coming up on an hour and 2 minutes. We got to hop over there to Nina the Mystic Truthers channel. I do have another Lilith video coming out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jeff, what's up, dude? Hell yeah, good to see you, man. Mwah. I hope you have a good night at work. But there'll be some more lives this week. I've got to take care of a lot of things. I got everybody's stuff packaged up. I've got things that I've owed people for like 2 months that I like when I went through that crazy soul-shattering experience. I just kind of dropped the ball on everything, and I let a lot of people down, and I'm sorry about that. But I got you all your stuff, and I have extra little goodies in there for everybody that had to wait to make up for it. And everybody's been so kind and so understanding, and like I really do appreciate that, for not being as hard on me as you should have. I would have probably been pissed too. And thank you for like keeping it light, keeping it peaceful, and not like judging me too harshly, because I will always come through for you. I will always come through for you. You know, sometimes life gets in the way of that, and you know, I'm really trying to work hard on that not happening, but you know, that's one of the things I'm working on, staying on top of things and making sure they happen. You know, regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of how I feel. That's a hard one sometimes, especially for me. I really do operate heavily on the way that I'm feeling at the time. And if I'm not feeling it, it's hard for me to do it. But if I am feeling it, I can accomplish some really great things. A lot of you are probably like that too. I don't know. But anyways, I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Hail Lilith, hail all of you. Hail the Infernal Empire, and hail thyself. Love you guys. See you soon.